What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of Respect the Game podcast. My name is Edward, named after a trilogy, that being my pops. Shout out to my mother and my grandmother for helping raise me too. Please make sure you go follow at EMAC Stats for all your up-to-date high school, collegiate, and pro sports coverage. We'll not disappoint. We'll keep you up to date with all that's going on in the world. And as always, what is a podcast if you're not doing it with your brethren?
Hey man, Shine Hard is on charismatic good excellence at its finest. That's Instagram, Twitter, Cash App, Apple Pay, whatever, man. It's lit, man. Let's go.
Yo, it is the host with the most that blows the most smoke, Black Peace, the rap plug, the hip hop plug. Be sure to go check out Talkin Smoke on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you get your dope podcast from. That's where you can find your boy at. Let's go, baby.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is the one and only Sedacious Xavier Miles. And even though you can't see me, the sentiments are still the same. We thank you so much for watching, for listening, all of that stuff. We love you, and we don't take you for granted. Thank you for rocking with us. Take it away, bro.
Yeah, man. So got a lot of good content to get to tonight. Starting off, we in the realm, in the world of HBCU. Shout out to all the HBCU graduates out there. I, myself, and Sedacious Wiley grads. So for those who don't know, we have a very unique situation going on right now with Grambling State University's volleyball team. So this past volleyball season, Grambling State volleyball team finished 11-17, and they were 8-8 in their conference. And after the season, their previous head coach decided to step down and pursue other avenues inside the school. Didn't really want to be a head coach anymore with volleyball. She served about over 10 years, both as an assistant head coach and a head coach. So that head coach steps down. Obviously, you're gonna need somebody to fill that vacancy. And who Grambling State, the athletic director, decided to go with is Chelsea Lucas, who is also a Grambling alum. She graduated from Grambling in 2007. So the reason this is a big time story is because it's been reported through various different articles out there, nationally and locally, that when Chelsea Lucas finally came on, she was hired on February 14th, ironically, because this story doesn't really show any love. When she was brought on, since she's been brought on, it's been reported that she has gotten rid of all the players, scholarship and non-scholarship walk-ons, got rid of all the players on the team that Grambling had previously. She came on, she had individual interviews with everybody, told them her plans. Hey, I'm moving forward with the program. And they said she tried to keep 4 to 5. Well, the athletic director claimed that she tried to, or she wanted to keep 4 to 5 different players. But as the way it's looking now, she didn't got rid of everybody. And if she didn't get rid of them, other players don't necessarily feel comfortable or feel like they want to play there. So there's a lot more to unpack here, but I'll just, that's just the foundation of it. And I'll give y'all more information, more facts as we unpack this. She come on the scene, and we all know how precious, like, being able to go to school on a full ride of a 4-year scholarship is, and how much that means. Some of these players that were on this team, they going into their senior year, and then this lady, head coach, Chelsea Lucas, pops up and be like, yeah, you're not gonna be playing here next year. You ain't got no scholarship. I hope life works out for you, basically. And it's not always as easy to just transfer, right? Because you have to first, if you're trying to still play volleyball, find out, okay, where can I go play volleyball and have a legit chance to play? And if I'm a senior or whatever your class rank is, like, all the credits that I have here at Grambling State transferable with credits to still maintain, whether I'm a sophomore, junior, senior, whatever. So you got all that minutia. But off that foundation of what's going on at Grambling State, fellas, how do y'all feel about it?
not gonna lie to you, man. I feel like it's a horse. Excuse my French. I know we're not supposed to start it off like that,
Out
but
the gate.
yeah, man, that's a load of that's livestock manure, man. And the reason I say it is because of this. I feel like it's not what you do, it's how you do it. I feel like it's a right and a wrong way to do everything. You don't just go into these individual interviews with the notion of, well, I was doing the individual analysis for this player, they just wasn't going to fit into the scheme of what we wanted to do this upcoming season. No, that is somebody who is, okay, one, I know the volleyball culture here. I've been a player, though it was 15 years ago. I know what the culture should be like, or I know what the vision is of what I need it to look like. And going into this that you're probably gonna clean house. So as opposed to, I can appreciate it going individually, by everybody, but save some people some time. If you're gonna do it like that, you might as well. I'd have been more comfortable you just calling in the whole team and being like, hey man, ladies, I want to thank y'all for y'all commitment to, Grambling State, University volleyball. But as of now, I don't believe I'm going to go forward with any of you. Right. I think that would have been a bit more, in my opinion, a bit more respect the game worthy. But I just think when somebody goes in there and they clean house and then the athletic director and president of the school don't really have wind of what they're doing, that just gives me lone dictator vibes. Like you want a whole dictatorship and you having it your way, or literally the highway, quite literally.
I agree.
Yeah.
I, for one, believe that it's totally inconsiderate. Because of what you said before, Edward, it's you got these girls from all these different walks of life. You don't know what their situation is. Was it?
See me?
I can see you.
Okay, all right. So look, before you dive deeper, I just want to add more context for the people, right? So talking about the AD, this was his comments about the situation, hiring her on. Just as the transfer portal empowers student athletes, our coaches are also empowered to make the decisions they deem necessary to advance the program. So he had that to say, and the players, some players were interviewed in various different articles, and the players claimed that one, they only had like 4 practices. In those practices, not much, they weren't really opportunities there to show skill. They was basically just running the whole entire time. And when they were trying to do drills, it was short-lived because she didn't like what somebody was doing. So it's like, all right, get on the line, do some push-ups. So it was more so type of like a punishment.
She one of them. Yeah,
and,
see,
and so,
I can smell
and
that.
so with that, like I said, the players, they claimed that, hey, she came in trying to have practice, talking about she doing evaluations, but we didn't really sense that there was like a genuine chance for us to try to earn a spot. So that's that. Continue.
And that's very inconsiderate. How are you a coach and none of these girls you feel like you coach them up to where they fit in your system? Get out of here. What?
Red flag.
I honestly, I'm gonna have to go against the grain on this one, fellas. For the simple fact of we all seen the movie Coach Carter, of course, classic movie. Shout out to Samuel. It's one of those things of it's not about having security about your spot or jeopardizing the opportunity. That person has a job title which is called coach. Period. They got hired in a certain order of you have to respect this person no matter what. That's their job title. Your job title is player. So when your coach comes out there and tells you, hey, run this drill, you're supposed to go with your athletic scholarship with people with the state, city, whoever is paying for you to be there to do. It doesn't matter if you just got a new coach. It's not time to play around, especially if you're on athletic scholarship. They're paying for you to be there. It's not a choice. It's not you're making money and you have agents. No, you're there by that school believing in you. And for you not to trust in what the school is providing for you, which is a coach, I just feel like, I have to agree. I wouldn't go so dramatic as to fire them, or to get rid of the players, but I would have made a heavy stamp. Like, okay, y'all think it's a game? Like, when you hear your coach come in and say, I'm running evaluations, which means cuts, starters, bench, just trying to optimize the team to its best caliber. And for you guys to not, just kind of run around and not do a full caliber, which I'm feeling like that's what you saw, it's worth that. Especially being in an HBCU, which I feel like some people in HBCUs feel defeated because a lot of them don't make it pro, or they don't get as much, attention. They feel like it's whatever. I'm just here. Like, I'm gonna be a star regardless because I'm better than everybody else. And I feel like that coach is trying to start something new, which I'll agree to, man. Like, don't be the standard of what HBCUs are. Be greater than that. That's how you get us on the map.
I love you, bro, but it sounds like she clout chasing.
Hold on. All right. So for y'all continue, I got some more drama to stir up in the pot, right? So at the end of the season, this past season, before she got there, it was reported that 18 players, both scholarship and non-scholarship walk-on players, were on the roster. So you had 18 players on the roster. NCAA regulations allow up to 12 scholarships for volleyball teams, for the women's volleyball team. So you have that. But as of now, we don't know if anybody has come back or is still on the team, considering they had 18 before Coach Chelsea Lucas got there. So there's that. Essentially, so she, paraphrasing her quote, she's basically saying, hey, I am not obligated to uphold any promising scholarships to players coming on or players who are already on the team according to NCAA regulations. That's her claim. Now check this here out, right? So she was hired February 14th, and on February 26th, it was a viral photo in that Grambling State community going around on social media of her at a Grambling State men's basketball team in the stands as a current volleyball head coach for Grambling. She's in the stands. I see Isaac getting ready. She in the stands with her former team from University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. And so everybody is looking at that being like, oh, so she gonna come from University of Arkansas Pine Bluff, clean house at Grambling State, and you a whole head coach for Grambling now, but we see you in the stands with with your old team from the old school at Grambling.
Basically telling them, hey man, I'm gonna get these sergeants about
You finna LeBron the whole situation.
What? And you ain't LeBron though. See, you can only LeBron a situation when
you a player.
I ain't gonna lie, we can't even use. I ain't gonna lie, that's another conversation for another day. LeBron has completely broke the mold and set the standard for literally doing whatever he want to do and being the universe and the central center of a team. But yeah, man, whenever you see smoke, man, you gotta know there's fire right there. So that just would have rubbed me the wrong way as a player, because that just gives every implication that, hey, I'm really rocking with y'all. So when I get over here, I really got y'all. I'm gonna clean house. And who you said you said you need a scholarship too? Yeah, I'm gonna clear the way. So we got 12. Bet I got 12 for y'all. I'll just come on in maybe a month later and kind of maybe drag it out a little bit so it won't look too quick. And we gonna hit the ground running.
Yeah, she's at the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. She's been there for 3 years before taking a job at Grambling. So you would think that if she's been there for 3 years, she's got players she's been coaching and molding and building up for her program or to whatever her coaching style is. 3 years, a record of 37-44, and she is 27-17 in the SWAC conference play. And this past year, 2021, she went 13-3 in the SWAC. So yeah, man, we'll see. I got to go look at the roster for Arkansas Pine Bluff and see how identical that roster may be to Grambling's this upcoming next school year for the volleyball season. So yeah, man. But keeping it. Go D.
I was gonna say, what's the difference? What's the difference between a head coach and a professional team doing that and her doing that. Come in,
This
doesn't
this
see
is
what
the
they doesn't like
collegiate
what they
level.
see.
Though you can,
I'm looking at it too. Like collegiate is even more like don't give a care. Some people just don't care. They got their scholarship, they chilling, and they feel like they know people that are more hungrier.
I'm
Is
not
it
gonna lie
necessarily all the way
with the
right? No, but it
with
does happen.
with the new NIL rules, one could argue that somebody was banking on having that starting scholarship spot, and maybe for them to have some type of viability in regards to a potential partnership or deal that could have been on the table if they were a part of that program. Now, all of a sudden, we don't know if that gets yanked because they're no longer a part of that program. Though I'm not fully adept on how the NIL rules work, I know you get paid off your likeness, and that has to do a lot with, your individual success. But I mean, not only that, but I would love to think the success of the program. But hey, if she wanted a story, shit, she got one, and they better win every damn game. Because now you don't have no excuse. You brought in the players that you wanted. You implemented your system clearly. So hey, spotlight on
And
you if
that's
you ever wanted it.
It's not concrete. It's not concrete that those players she was seen with in the picture are going to play for Grambling. It was just that picture, and people noticed that was
I
her.
got $100, at least 3 of them riding.
I take
At least.
I bet the 100 at least 3 transfer is. So I with you. Oh, but now, man.
But I will say this: she would. Oh, you're good. You're good.
You straight?
Nah, I'm dragging it out. You're good. You're good. You're good. It's a drag out. I promise it is.
Keeping it in HBCU world, man. Amisha Williams Holiday. A beautiful story. To I guess crossover from Grambling. A beautiful story and a nice crossover in basketball. You see what I did with the wordplay? Don't call me no cap though. But nah. Amisha Williams Holiday. So the WNBA was founded around 26 years ago, if not 26 years ago exactly. With them being founded 26 years ago, it has been 20 years since there was a HBCU player drafted into the WNBA, right? So in the 26 years, only 5 have actually been drafted from a HBCU. You had 3 in 2002, and then you had another 2 in 1997 and 1998. And for the sake of argument, for anybody who want to debate over somebody else, Howard University has 3 women that have been drafted into the WNBA. So they have the most women from HBCU drafted into the NBA. And now we have another woman, and that being Amisha Williams Holiday from Jackson State University, being drafted 25th into the WNBA. She was the SWAC Player of the Year. She averaged 15 points, 11 rebounds. She's the center. I want to say they upset somebody in the tournament too. No, they didn't. They won the SWAC. They almost. I wish they would have beat LSU. Dang, I wish I would have beat LSU. But nah, man. Showing love and praise to Amisha Williams Holiday, man. I think that's an historical feat. And I want to put this on record. Out of 5th Ward, Houston, from Jack Yates, I think Maya Crump, she played for U of H, she played for Lamar, and now she's at Jackson State. I think she has what it takes to also be drafted into the WNBA. So who knows? It could be back-to-back years, just like how it was 90 and 97, you had Danique Graves, and then 98, you had Karen Wilkins. It could go from Amisha Williams Holiday in 2021 or 2022, and then next year you could have Maya Crump coming out also from Jackson State, man. But no, I mean, I don't know if y'all have anything else to add, but I just think that's a historical feat that our listeners should be on. I think you definitely got to respect the game and showing her love with that accomplishment.
Shout out to Jackson State. Dad is an alumni at Jackson State. Yeah, man, and they got a lot of great stuff going, obviously, with Deion Sanders in the football program. But, good to hear that, they're getting notoriety all the way around in other sports as well, man.
True. Look forward to seeing you do big time things.
Yeah, bro. We're just not going to talk about how ridiculous it is that they don't look at HBCUs more, because we don't want to dim her light. We just want to put all the light on her. but just that little side
Hey,
comment.
she's carrying the light, man. She got drafted to the Indiana Fever. So yeah, man. Salute to the Indiana Fever for giving her a look and showing us a love. All right. So gonna take a quick time out, gonna get off the sports real quick, into culture, what's going on in the world. Definitely thoughts and prayers going out to the families of those who may be affected in any way, shape, or form by the mass shooting that happened on the subway today in Brooklyn, New York. So definitely prayers out to anyone affected from that. But police are trying to get smart. They're tired of being they're tired of being recorded for whatever the reason in the case may be. People go live, got the phones all in the police face, sometimes for no reason, sometimes for good reason, to capture what may seem like, or not may seem like, what may actually be police brutality.
Never for no reason. Never for no reason.
Exactly. I was going to say it's always a good reason to record.
Always a good reason to record them.
But police are now taking out their phones and playing whatever mainstream music video or song there may be out there. And they are doing this in attempts that when someone is recording them, if the video can catch that sound or whatever music that is, when the person does go to post it on Twitter, YouTube, social media, whatever, it'll get flagged as copyright infringement because whoever is posting it don't own the rights to whatever song the police officer is playing, and therefore the video will be taken down. I mean, that's pretty much the meat and potatoes of it. Yeah, I'll take it away.
It's just all wickedness. And I hate to sound like this, but it's really what it is, man. Like why not just do your job the way that you're supposed to do it? Why have to finesse the system and finagle, you know what I'm saying, to do your job? You know what I'm saying? I'm sure that that's not in the protocols to play music, so you are recording doing a good or bad job. Just do whatever job that you're supposed to do and be on about your way. But no, you can't do that. You have to find some type of way to where you can't be recognized for your wrongdoing. If you're not doing no wrong in the first place, you don't need to play no music.
Care. You wouldn't even care if you was actually serving and protecting the community. You wouldn't care about who was recording you or not, because if you doing what you have been paid to do, what you have been trained to do, and that's uphold the law in the most genuine and sincerest way to protect your community, you wouldn't be worried about if somebody's recording you. Only somebody who was trying to finesse, break the law, and or be a nuisance to the community is worried about who's recording them. So
hit dogs holler.
Hit dogs holler, man. So if you gotta go to your phone and go to YouTube and put on a Disney song, bro. First off, what are we doing, man? Like, bro, serve and protect the community. If I hear you being DJ Bands in this trying to, like, what are you like? What's up, man? Like, I have a deep problem with that, because it underlines a deeper issue, right? Because we live in a world where we're so concerned about not being caught doing wrong, where we not even, the focus isn't on us doing our job and doing it right. The focus is on us not being recorded so we can get away with whatever we want to do.
Yeah.
Right. And that's where our focus is. Let me make sure I put this music on so I can go stomp this person neck out, or go, put this person in an illegal chokehold, or do a no-knock search warrant, or perform something heinous or something, out of bounds that would possibly get me either reprimanded or fired from my job. No, we are concerned about who is recording us so I can still do whatever I want to do. I think that more so exposes the God complex that a lot of people who have positions of power and authority hold. I think it's a real life issue that is at hand. And I really do believe they should start doing more in-depth personality screenings for these authoritative positions, because the God complex is getting out of control. We got people who don't even want, and it's really, and to shine a light on it, it's really that's happening in, I think it's Santa Clara, or it's Santa Ana, I believe. Santa Ana Police Department. It's a guy who strictly posts nothing but Santa Ana Police Department videos, and he has a lot of traction on YouTube, and they know that he does. And just so happened, thank God, a council member of the city was out there and was able to catch him and hold the police responsible. And he didn't even have anything to say. He didn't even have a rebuttal to. He asked him, "Why are you doing this?" And it's almost 11 o'clock at night. People, kids trying to sleep. You're not serving the community. If anything, you're just trying to get this man video taken down. You like, again, man, we need to be doing, deeper background searches on these people. If you have any inkling of a God complex, you can't serve the community, bro. You just can't. Like, we don't need
when
that.
they playing trap music, when they playing they
I
playing
don't
like
know
hip
what
hop.
they were playing,
It was
bro, but
it
man,
was one
turn your
video.
body cam on, man.
Was that
What?
I think that video was that I want to say Vice, if I'm not mistaken, but it was one they said like the police is like blasting like some Disney Channel anthem or whatever. And the thing about it is with the way social media works, so if those videos do get caught with the music being played, it's predominantly off algorithm. So depending on how much ever traffic that song is getting, more so like dictates how soon it'll get caught or flagged or whatever. It's not just a guarantee that if music is in this video that it's gonna immediately get caught or by YouTube or whatever. And even in some cases, right? I don't know if the police are aware of this, but even in some cases, as it relates to YouTube may not necessarily take the video down. You'll just have to, they'll just run ads on the video. So there's that side to it as well. And I know
For
the guy
monetization purposes so they can get paid.
Right. And I know
I do apologize, brother. I'm just like have integrity, and this won't be an issue. You know what I'm saying? This is only an issue because some cop who wanted to hide what he was doing told other cops that wanted to hide what they was doing, and it became a trend that got caught. And now it's just like, America, you clearly see that the people that you put in our neighborhoods to protect and serve ain't doing that. They're looking for ways to do whatever they want to do to us and get away with it.
The issue is they're too busy trying to think like criminals and act like criminals instead of trying to do their actual job. And that's where the confusion really gets bad, because everybody's looking at each other like the criminals looking at the cops, and the cops at the criminals like, who's going to do worse now? Who's going to keep going worse and worse and worse? Who's going to keep, blurring the lines of everything? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, how I look at it is like, all you're doing is promoting bad cop work, negativity in a positive position. That's what that's doing. It's basically saying you can find loopholes around things, and you can, do this and that and still get away with things. You're creating criminal mindsets. That's a criminal mindset. I'm sorry. You're thinking outside the system technically is a criminal mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like, for people at that level that they hold and they protect and serve level, it's like, you're not supposed to do that, bro. You're supposed to lead by example.
Right.
That's what you're vowing for. That's what you're trying to spread. So what is a kid gonna think when he sees this cop, quote unquote, just trying to protect himself? And all you really, just like my brothers just said, all you gotta do is do your job. That's all you gotta do. Your job. That comes with everything. Protect and serve. You made a vow to put your life online, and the real gonna respect that, and the fake gonna say what they gonna want to say, and they gonna feel how they gonna want to feel. But your job is to protect and serve, not to try to finesse.
Hey man, Boosie said it best. Ain't turn it in. They sin. They don't protect you, man. They don't. Come on, man.
And they wonder why criminals have a hard time just getting their shit together, get their stuff together, because at the end of the day, it's like, where's my good example? Like, the guy that's arrested me just planted something on my homeboy. So how am I supposed to be thinking like there's good?
That
when
also got caught
supposed to be good
on camera this month, I believe. A cop trying to plant crack on a suspect as he was getting arrested, and was caught having it in his pocket and then holding it in his hand, throwing it on the ground and trying to act as though it fell out of the suspect's pocket. And somebody on video called it out. It was like, hey, he didn't drop that. That isn't his. You planted on him. And the guy sees and looks at the camera that's recording him, puts it back into his pocket and tries to go over there and mess with the camera guy. And it's like, nah, brother, you caught
And
on.
that criminal was involved in seeing everything that's going on. And that's
thank
like, okay, the good
God
person that everybody looks to be good. Everybody that looks to be good is doing worse than what I was probably doing.
Trying to put crack on me.
Or
Exactly.
the cop, I don't know if y'all seen this one as well, and I know we ready to move, but it was a cop. Nah, it was a cop who also was being very derogative to a group of black ladies, young black ladies. I don't know what state it was in, but he also had a police dog accompany him too. And he was so heinous and so, so vicious and so, just hostile with his, belligerent actions on a young lady trying to like sumo wrestle her to the ground when she didn't do anything. The dog is taught to attack the oppressor and to attack the criminal. Tell me why the police dog started to bite the officer.
On the dog. Yeah, I see.
As he's assaulting the black young lady, literally begins to like try to take chunks out of police officer's arm, and the police is like, whoa, and it's like, yeah, they know who the real criminal is. They know who the real thug is, bro. His innate senses and abilities took over. You the attacker. You the enforcer.
Yeah. She's screaming and kicking and she kicking and screaming.
Come on, man. Dogs can even know. Dogs even know when they wrong, man. Dogs know when they wasn't, this woman didn't do anything to us.
Dogs have a high IQ.
Man, come on, man.
Especially the police dogs.
Especially the German Shepherd. Yeah, man, they talk this weed out the. They saw right through yours, brother.
But yeah, man, that's definitely something for people to just be on the lookout for. And if you're in a situation and you're recording to protect somebody who is, being approached by police, if they playing music, still post it. I know somebody I'm real close with who's a police officer. Probably it'd be cool to talk to him about that down the road if this thing continues to grow across the country.
Let's have them on, man.
Yeah, I mean, because like even with the First Amendment, you have a right to be in that vicinity and record what's going on. Like that's your right as an American citizen. So for them to try to negate
infringe
upon
right?
Yeah. That's unconstitutional.
That's actually breaking the law because that's actually tampering with evidence because you're interfering with evidence that actually can be used in court to where it's actually, corrupted. You know what I'm saying? So I was talking to my wife about that on the way here. I was saying like, so you're telling me like, that's like if someone tried to get rid of a gun or something like that, because they're getting rid of the main source of, the attention. So it's throwing away evidence, man.
I mean, exactly what you're doing. Playing, like the guy who said on the video that I was watching, he was just like, what if they was playing music when they was dealing with George Floyd? And we never got to see that video because it got taken down. Or worse, what videos have they gotten away with by playing music? So yeah, man. Yeah. Cold world we're living in. But take a step away from that, get back into the game, getting back on the court. Got the playoffs coming up this week. But the team that everybody at the beginning of the basketball season just knew was going to be in the playoffs, just knew was going to wreak havoc in the playoffs, are the Lakers, and they are Nathaniel nowhere to be found. Frank Vogel got fired this week. Or this past weekend, Frank Vogel is no longer with the Lakers. Anthony Davis again. LeBron James, he didn't play the remaining games of the season. Who was that they lost to that bounced them out of playoffs or the play-in? Was that the Spurs?
I don't even want to talk about it.
Dallas.
I think it was the Nuggets.
Dallas.
Was it Dallas?
It was Dallas.
Probably was. Sound like some shit look good, dude.
I had to dip on y'all one time. Talk about the Lakers, man. I had to leave.
Nah, man. So right now, I think the biggest scapegoat has been Russell Westbrook, but if you
And
got to
Frank.
place blame anywhere, or maybe it's not blame, it just wasn't meant to work. Like, what do y'all see was the biggest problem with the Lakers not having the success that they wanted to have this season?
Poor roster construction. And that's just the bottom line. The pieces aren't as complimentary as we thought they were. And I'm not even going to tarry long before us. Hey, man, we got a whole bunch of old dudes that we signed. I know LeBron. I know you like veterans. I know you don't like playing with young guys. You like playing with experienced players that, know how to get it done. But, hey, man, you can't have a whole bunch of 35-plus-year-old dudes who, looking at the next person to play defense and be the one to be that glue. And it's like, nah, nigga, it start with you. Excuse me. It definitely starts with you. That accountability on defense, that communication, and then you got to have young legs in this league, man. A lot of teams, man, they have taken their bumps and bruises on the chin, right? Take a look at the Warriors. Without Klay those couple years, man, they struggled. Picked in the lottery, one year and got James Wiseman, but man, look at what that has done for the progression of Toscano Anderson, Jordan Poole, who's probably going to win Most Improved. And I'm using the Warriors as a great example because that was a top contending team some years back, but, riddled by injuries. They were, obviously less than and didn't make the playoffs a couple years. So, hey, man, a lot of teams have gotten to get their younger players the experience that they need in order to, have that knowledge of, hey, this is how we close out games. This is how we win tightly contested and close games. But, hey, man, too old and you don't have an offensive-minded coach like Frank Vogel who only emphasizes defense. So what you're going to have is a lot of freelance offense and LeBron save us on offense, along with a lot of defensive principles with players that don't play defense. You're looking at a recipe for disaster, man.
I would say, Izzo, that I feel where you coming from with the Golden State Warrior comparison. And obviously, I was on record. I was like, yeah, I don't know about this roster, but, y'all have fun. I think the distinguishing difference in how the Warriors have cultivated what they got with young players and what the Lakers try to do year by year is that, like, you got Klay and Steph, like, still, like, flirting with being in their prime. Whereas, like, LeBron is always we ain't got time to waste. We don't got time to try to develop nobody around you. We need
But
some
still in his prime, though.
Huh?
But LeBron be still in his prime. It'd be everybody else who.
Look, one LeBron in his prime ain't enough. Still kind of in his prime ain't enough right now.
It ain't enough because the league has changed. The league has obviously changed underneath them, right? To where, Bron can't drag a team that ain't got no business there kicking and screaming with just him no more.
And I don't think he wants to.
He's 37.
I mean, honestly, I just got to say that Shine Hard, saying you said that greatly, bro, so profoundly. I really couldn't have said it no better myself. It's just that roster and who they gave that roster to. They weren't thinking about when they were constructing it, who they were giving it to, and you can see it fail time to time. Like, I tried to believe in Frank Vogel for the longest time, and then after a while, you could just see Russ was just trying to do the best that he could in the effed up system that Frank Vogel was working. Because, my brother said,
it wasn't a system.
Right, like my brother said before,
offensive principles.
He don't have offensive mind. That's the reason why Paul George struggled in Indiana. You know what I'm saying? It's like Roy Hibbert is gonna get blocks and gonna get pick and roll dunks and alley oops, but what is Paul George
See
gonna
what
do?
Roy Hibbert said after that pace of run. Excuse me, I know I've been effing it all up today.
Because you're right. Because really, without Danny Granger, I don't know. I don't know about
that. The Green Ranger, what happened to Danny Granger? He was like
that knee injury.
He was like a Kmart version of I don't even want to say that because that's disrespectful.
Look,
Danny Granger was a nice player for like 2 to 3 years, like all-star level almost.
For sure. He got injured. Everybody came down.
He did make an all-star game, I believe, too.
1 or 2.
3 years.
For sure.
Shout out to Danny Granger, man, wherever you are.
Yeah.
Give us a shout out. Yeah,
Right, he used to kill boys on 2K with Danny Granger.
I ain't gonna lie. Did the Nets win tonight? Breaking news, y'all.
Yeah,
Of
yeah.
course.
But
Did Kyrie end up with 40?
I think just under. Well, no, he probably had like right at like a 30 ball. I don't know. But
Shot hard. That was hard, bro. I ain't gonna lie. We
It
would be live if we just hit the breaking news in the middle. Just
and have our own little theme music on.
You heard it here first, even though
have our own.
right. You heard it here first, even though you heard it a week late.
Nah, we're gonna have to get in a live episode on IG or something. What do y'all? The media has, for the most part, outside of like harping on Anthony Davis being injury prone, the media has tried to make Russell Westbrook the scapegoat for most of the problem. How do y'all feel about that? And how would y'all rate Westbrook's season?
Honestly, bro, after seeing him play with the Lakers, I've realized for the last few years, he's just been a plug and play. And that's if a team is going for that, you know what I'm saying, and not getting him at the beginning of the season and really trying to work something out, then and especially on top of that, you got Frank Vogel. I just felt like it was this for Russell Westbrook with the Lakers was a worse recipe for disaster than him with any other team to me. I'm talking about the Wizards, the Rockets. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I feel like a couple things. First and foremost, all respect to his athletic abilities, his ability to play basketball. But that man is not a winner. He is not a winner. There's no way you play with one of the best scorers to ever touch a basketball and not win a championship for, I believe, 6 seasons. And people wonder why he left. There's nothing against his actual game. He just does not know how to get the grand dub. And that's what the NBA is about. Yeah, you can have all the skill you want in the world. Charles Barkley, Carmelo Anthony, Allen Iverson. But at the end of the day, if you don't have that dub in you, it blemishes your career. And I feel like he feels like, I got the triple doubles. I'm an Olympic star. I done broke this and I done that. But at the end of the day, he needs to understand, like, bro, you need a championship. And I feel like he's wrestling with it for the last couple of years from the switches from the different teams and so on and so forth, trying to find that right spot where he can, just take them to the promised land. And it's like, Russell, you're not it. You're not it. I think he should have been the best third player to ever exist, but his athletic ability and talent won't let nobody put him at third. And his own ego won't let him be third. So I feel like if this would have happened 4 years ago, even with the way he's playing right now, they could have got a chip. But doing the fact of just like, bro, it's too late now. It's like you're not a winner. They kept putting you in the winning situations, and he never did it. You went to the finals, and everybody said, you went against LeBron. LeBron lost to Dirk by himself practically. Yes, that was an awesome team, but the leading scorer was just Dirk. So how don't Kevin Durant
Dirk? Let's not disrespect Dirk.
I'm not disrespecting him, but I'm saying, like, you're so great, but you're playing with the best scorer there is. Like, how don't you win? How don't you win? But you're so awesome. Like I say, he's a great player, but not a winner.
Let's be cool on the best scorer there is, too. I'm going to say, okay.
One of.
I get you. I get what you're saying, though. He's definitely top 5 scorers all time. Most definitely. Without question. Kevin Durant, that is, the audience. Not catching where we going with that, but
I think I listened to his interview, bro. His exit interview with the Lakers, and I know sometimes it can be fluff. I know sometimes they can go through the motions, but I sense that for the most part, majority, like Westbrook was, being transparent as he possibly could be with the questions that was asked. And it's like, I don't think Westbrook has lost a step in terms of like he's getting older or anything. I feel like he's been playing how he's been playing for the longest.
And he done lost a little bit of step. He ain't got that most explosive first step I've ever saw anymore, to where he can just be that consistent one-man fast break. But that's to say how far of a just how far he was athletically, ahead of everybody not named LeBron James. Obviously, that's in another world.
Do you think teams get scared of a W when they play against Westbrook?
What you mean get scared of a W? Like,
do they get scared they're
losing?
gonna lose? They can get embarrassed, they can get smashed on, posterized, triple-double. But do you think any team has ever really feared Westbrook when they go up against, like, we're gonna lose now?
No, this is what I think. I think the biggest thing that I feel like was missing in Westbrook's career, and I think I texted this on the group chat, I feel like he needed a winning championship pedigree coach to like cultivate him coming into the league, like from jump, to be like, let me show you how to
play point guard and win.
Play point guard, average your triple-double like Magic Johnson did. Like, I feel like if he had that coming up out the gate, I feel like his game would be, if he had that, people may argue about taking him over Chris Paul. Because his like, if he had a Phil Jackson, a Pat Riley, some coaches of that ilk. But I'm looking at like his coaches, Scott Brooks, he came into the game with, right? I could be wrong. I want to say if it wasn't his first coaching gig, it wasn't like he had many opportunities before that. You got Scott Brooks, then you got Billy Donovan, then you got Mike D'Antoni. That offense was all about James Harden, right? Then you go back to Scott Brooks, who you started off with Washington, and then you get Frank Vogel. I don't feel like, and by that time, really after Scott Brooks, like Westbrook is who he's gonna be. He spent his first 7 years with Scott Brooks. So like at your 7th year, you are who you are. You have born into the player that you are absolutely 1,010% gonna be. Maybe minor tweaks here and there, but you are who you are after year 7. And by that time, I feel like also too, with those teams, Westbrook has always had the greenest of green lights. So he had the space, he had the opportunity to mess up. Like, you Westbrook, nobody's gonna come in and take your minutes. So you're gonna continue to average a triple-double, especially when Kevin Durant leaves, because all those shots going to you, because you Russell Westbrook. And when you look at it, right, so since he's left OKC, first year with Houston, 27 points, 7 assists, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 27 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists with Houston. Playing with James Harden, who was still in his prime at that point in time, right? Then you go to Washington, and y'all make the playoffs. You average a triple-double, 22, 11, and 11. Now, Bradley Beal is an all-star player, but he only played 3 games this season. So I think he didn't really have to share that many shots or assists or, handling the rock, being on the court, because Bradley Beal only played 40 games. So Westbrook was able to average a triple-double in that regard.
Right.
Frank Vogel, then you get the Lakers. Now, if there's any space and opportunity, bro. Now, I won't fight you. All right, you got AD, you got Dwight Howard, you got LeBron. I'm not gonna fight you on not averaging 10 rebounds.
Melo.
I get it. Okay, that's life. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't need you, Westbrook, to average 10 rebounds, right? He goes to the Lakers. His lowest statistical season, or not low, well, in points, he averaged 27 with the Rockets, 22 with the Wizards, 19 with the Lakers. 7 assists with the Lakers, and 7 rebounds with the Lakers, and 7 assists. So he averaged 19, 7, and 7 with the Lakers. And you would think, well, he with the Lakers. Why would dude need to average a triple-double? Or maybe he doesn't have the opportunity to really average a triple-double. But take this into consideration, right? Westbrook played the most minutes and the most games for the Los Angeles Lakers this season. Now, by his standards in his interview, he had a down year because he didn't average a triple-double, considering he averaged a triple-double last year. He would try to make the argument that, hey, you know, I didn't really get a chance to fully be me. And I feel like what he means by that is I had the green light at all these other places. And when I came here, that light got slightly dimmed to a degree because I had to spread the wealth. But that's not really an excuse because, bro, you playing more minutes than everybody and more games.
And you playing with LeBron James, like
LeBron, right? And so you can say the argument of assists. Well, we know LeBron is ball dominant. We know he's the real point guard. But when Westbrook is handling the ball, he was leading the lead in most turnovers a game, but because he stopped playing towards the end of the year and Trae Young had to keep on playing, Trae Young kind of beat him out for that, just having to play more games. But Westbrook is right there at second most for turnovers per game.
And not to know, Trae Young actually led the league in total points and assists, I believe. Total points and I forget what it is. He was the first player in NBA history to lead the league in total points. And anyway, it reasoned out to why he, led the league in turnovers. He also led the league in some other proficient categories as well.
Player usage and all of that.
He probably going to the playoffs.
Probably not.
Who they got to play again?
I just don't see it, bro. They defense, they can't stop nobody.
Yeah, but yeah, man. So Westbrook second most turnovers a game, last in 3-point percentage. Went to 67% from the free throw line. That's the worst in his career this season. And so for his numbers to decline like that, one could argue 19-7-7 ain't a bad year, but judging by Westbrook standards, and it not being in a winning effort, 19-7-7, but y'all find a way to win, or it's productive.
That's amazing.
But that's marvelous. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, listening to the interview, looking at his stats, and just looking at the year, man.
The Lakers might need this lottery pick. I ain't gonna lie.
I don't know where Westbrook goes from here with his career. I was thinking about it, I believe he's going in to year 15, and maybe hey, bro, you've had a marvelous career, bro.
Don't say it.
Your
don't
career
say it. Please don't say it.
Your career
sound like you was finna say it.
Your career is absolutely unscathed. First ballot Hall of Famer immediately, soon as you retire.
Stop
but,
it.
What is where does because I don't feel like Westbrook is driven to quote unquote win a championship. And obviously that's all we be wanting as fans, who's gonna win the championship? Where does Westbrook go from here, with his career? Because I was thinking about this too, bro. And y'all can say maybe I'm jumping off the cliff, all right? We did it with Ben Simmons. Is there 20 players in the league that you feel like you can name that you would take over Russell Westbrook right now today?
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to have to go and name them, but
I'm gonna say sure. I'm gonna need that out of y'all. I'm gonna need that out of y'all.
No, don't do that because what you mean? I can ramble right now.
Yeah.
All right, so let's start on his own team.
Randall.
You want to go there, because I'm
not saying I disagree. I just want to be entertained.
Brian, Anthony Davis, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic, fucking Jimmy Butler, Zach LaVine, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. Bro, and them is just super quick. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Right now, give me Trae. I need that.
Of course, I'll take Trae any day of the week.
Damian Lillard. We said that, right?
Damian Lillard, win healthy. Come on.
Of course,
Kawhi, Paul George,
Bradley Beal. I said PG and Kawhi. So that Bradley Beal. Oh, I forgot. KD, Kyrie.
Luka.
You said James Harden.
I said Luka. Definitely said Luka. And shit, James. You need
James.
Yeah,
I'm still
come
taking
on, man.
James.
Yeah, but
I
like
think
if it's that
That's over
easy,
20.
bro, like where has like how far has Westbrook like fallen? Because at this point, I don't know if like Darnell, like is any team scared that they're gonna lose because you see Russell Westbrook? I don't know if any
Devin
team
Booker.
is
My fault.
Chris Paul.
sorry.
I
Chris
don't even
Paul.
think a team. I don't even think a team is excited to grab a for Westbrook.
Donovan
To
Mitchell.
like be like, we need you to like get us over the hump. I don't even think Westbrook has that on him like anymore. Like it's just like where does he go?
Michael Jordan wants him in Charlotte for
see,
whatever reason to stomp
all right,
LaMelo's growth. I don't know
Hey,
why.
the ceiling
Or
is the
Paul.
roof.
Thank you.
So
You
come
said
off
it.
the bench.
That's the only thing that's gonna happen with Westbrook going there.
Or to put him in that Isaiah Thomas role. Russell, if you can accept that you're not that nigga no more, you can be the best thing smoking coming off that bench, and you can play just like how you want to play.
Oh, absolutely. 1,000 agree with that. He'd be
But
the
you're not
best role
closing
player
out
that ever
games.
existed if he can
You're
calm
not closing
down.
out games. You're not starting them. But I feel like you can help us tread water on that second unit. You can abuse any second unit in the league.
He needs
You
to
at
talk
that
to
point
Jamal
now.
Crawford, in my opinion. He needs to have that talk with Jamal Crawford.
Nah, he don't need to
What
talk to
step do
Jamal
I take?
Crawford because Jamal Crawford ain't never been in Russell Westbrook's shoes the way he'd have been undoubtedly the man.
how to
Jamal
be that
Crawford is
player.
way.
How
I
to accept it.
take Jamal Crawford's offense over Westbrook's.
But what I'm saying is how to be that guy. Like how to sit your butt down the first
And I
couple
don't want
minutes.
this to become a Russell Westbrook slander episode. I don't want this to become a Russell Westbrook slander episode. I don't.
Hey, I just spoke about
feel like
this.
We're trying to
I feel
place
like
the
we
appropriate
snowballing.
blame.
I feel like we snowballing to there. So
No, we don't have to. I don't see Westbrook in that light because I just like Westbrook is a done daughter. So it's just like him come off the bench, like
bro,
So,
Melo even had to take that pill one day. Like eventually, everybody ain't LeBron James to where in their latter years, everybody you still gonna be like the one or two option on a championship team, bro. Like we gotta look at LeBron James and like that is what we seeing from him. And man, that's another thing too. We gonna miss him so much when he gone because we love to just tear him. Not real shit, bro. We love to tear that man down, but bro, when we look back at
my fault, bro. Keep going, my bad.
I was just gonna say, man, when you look back at his career in totality, and I'm saying this about both, Westbrook and obviously LeBron James, we will have missed what they provided and brought to the game so much. LeBron with his availability and just never selling us short and being able to drag motherfuckers like me in the league and being able to get them to a championship is amazing in itself. And I don't want to hear the people, Jordan never got booted. Yes, he did. He got booted in the first round a few times. Look it up. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I'm not holding none of this shit against LeBron in his 37 years on earth, like with his 20th year. I'm just not. And the same with Russell, bro. Like, first ballot Hall of Famer. Granted, your style of play isn't conducive with winning. You need the right situation because you're so ball dominant. I don't think you can win a championship with you being ball dominant. But hey, man, I still enjoyed it while it was here. I enjoyed it while it was here.
That's how I feel. I don't think Westbrook is trash. I don't think like off with his head right now, get him out the league or like make him come off the bench. I still think I think he has a high caliber talent still. It just seems impossible to make it gel with
you wanted to win on a championship team, you got to come off the bench, bro.
And that's what I hate. And I just wish he had like a top tier coach, Greg Pop. You know what I'm saying?
That can sit him down and talk to him and let him know, like, hey, no, you ain't Manu Ginobili, but he came off the bench and was effective and gave us what we needed.
But before, I'm just saying, like, if he was young coming in for like a Pop, you know what I'm saying? It just like, because it's like, it deserves to be on a championship stage for whatever. It just hasn't gelled because Westbrook came into the league. And I mean, that OKC team was young. Like, I mean, maybe I want to say maybe Jeff Green was like one of their kids. Or Nick Collison.
Jabaka.
Nah, they was all young. Serge wasn't a vet. I just feel like man, Westbrook missed out on having like a true blue like vet and or coach to like help him cultivate that triple double talent into like championship basketball. And I think this Lakers thing, I don't see him coming back. And
trade him. I would take Terry Rozier. Whoever they want to give a shit. And Gordon Hayward, we got to take that horrible contract. We done did worse.
Whoa. What's good?
Hey, brother.
What's the product if it ain't gonna stay healthy?
I was just about to say, tell me the last time you seen him play basketball. And
that's all I'm saying. He's a great talent when he's healthy.
On this Chandler, great talent when he's healthy. I'm sorry. I feel like once he got overpaid by Boston that first go round, he ain't been working since he got that money. His best year was that last year in Utah. Let's argue about it.
No, we don't have to.
Nah, we got time.
I know it was rhetorical, but
my answer was rhetorical.
He done got paid and did the Chandler Parsons on them folks. He done just Oh, y'all want me to play?
I will say this, bro. I think it, and this is like off Westbrook. I think it happened after he got paid, and a lot of people didn't know.
Gordon Hayward done got the most contracts off them 1 or 2 All-Star years than anybody in NBA history.
Yeah,
they just keep paying him, bro.
Parsons, I think he got injured after he got.
He did. He got into the car wreck. So I say Chandler Parsons in the sense of you have been robbing organizations. You shook down. You shook down the Celtics. They overpaid you. And then you came to the Hornets and you shook them down too. And MJ, like a dummy, paid you all that money and you wasn't even. Come on, man.
That's why they trying to get MJ. Michael Jordan is a horrific general manager.
Horrific.
And if he wants Russell Westbrook, that should tell you something.
They want it because the contracts make sense. He would be in his last year of his expiring contract. Gordon Hayward against the Bucks next year, I think he almost owe him $40 million on the year. And Gordon Hayward,
like him when I go up.
They trying to get off of that. That's what they trying to do. It ain't got nothing to do with basketball, bro. It has everything to do with we have too many big cap hits on this team, which they do because Terry Rozier signed a big deal. They got to pay him next year. He's coming up, but Terry Rozier balled out this year. He did not have a bad year. Gordon Hayward, is robbing. I'm talking about first-degree felony.
And I want to say them rookie deals be with like 2 or 3 years. So like Melo about to be coming up for his payday.
Yo, was Gordon Hayward that shot the air ball?
Huh?
Was Gordon Hayward that shot the air ball after?
That's the got $200 million plus contracts off of nothing. I don't even know how.
Remember when Melo had that 6 pass at the air ball?
Nah, it wasn't Gordon. It was Caleb Martin trash.
Oh,
shout out to Caleb Martin.
Real quick before we wrap, who's gonna be the Lakers' next head coach? Any predictions?
With all due respect, Mark Jackson. That's the quote. Talking about LeBron James, wife Savannah James. I don't know how that works. I feel like as LeBron, as a leader of the team, I'm gonna have to sit Mark. Like, you know what I'm saying? If he get hired, like, hey Mark, hey, let's have a conversation real quick. What did you mean when you said this shit?
What was that shit about my wife?
What did he say again? She could get it.
He said, with all due respect, I'm hitting that out of the park.
Yeah.
And I closed the quote.
Hey,
I wasn't paraphrasing.
There's no avoidable context on that at all. Like, that is what it is.
Hey,
yeah, like, bro, you just straight up said you would fuck this man wife on
national TV.
Knock this man wife shit out the park is what you said.
I mean,
that's aggressive. This is like,
it's like you talking about some hit it out the park. You ain't even say you was gonna hit a single, double, or homer. You ain't say a regular home run. You said you for the 450 feet, that boy.
So these are some names that I'm seeing. In addition to Mark Jackson, I really like to see, because I feel like LeBron succeeded. He wasn't a player's coach, but you had like that championship pedigree. That being with the Miami Heat under Pat Riley, not Frank Vogel, Eric Spoelstra. Wasn't a player, but played a little bit of basketball, I think, like in the Philippine League, and being a video guy for the Heat. But then him being able to mesh well with Tyronn Lue being a player's coach, played in the league for quite a bit of time.
Okay.
So I like that chemistry.
Mark Jackson.
Well, Mark Jackson, right? Exactly. That's what I was getting to. So I would like Mark Jackson in that regard to be able to pair with LeBron. But as we've seen, it's not just about LeBron; it's the other guys. But I feel like
they's gonna be gone. You talking about the other guys? They don't This is about what LeBron James wants. The other guys is about to be gone. Trevor gone. Dwight, see ya. Kendrick Nunn, you robbed us. Literally didn't play a minute. Your ass is grass. You can be out of here too. No.
Bro, that
Chelsea
episode of us talking about the Lakers keep playing back in my head so much this episode.
Look, Chelsea
bring up the side by side. I'm guilty.
Oh, pull that move.
Because I was the first one up on here. Man, they got who?
So you telling me you don't trust Frank Vogel? And him to be had the pieces to put together. I'm like, hey man, I know y'all won y'all championship.
Hey man, I lied. Hey, but hey Frank, shit, you got you one.
Right. I think right after that episode, I was like, what the hell was I talking about?
Hey, but no, imagine cleaning out your office and taking your championship items with you.
Come on, man.
Mark Jackson gonna be like,
oh,
y'all, I'm dropping y'all scholarship.
With no championship ring.
Kendrick Nunn, Dwight.
I'm just saying, like, I don't think he's that.
Be happy you got to coach LeBron James and Anthony Davis and actually get you one. And you'll forever be talking about
so that's what I'm saying. I don't think
the only COVID championship in NBA history. Congrats, Frank.
Mark Jackson goes Anthony Davis. You're fine.
With all due respect.
Hey man, it's bad. Well,
Mark Jackson gonna go and clean house.
I've been like, now, Mark,
knock it at the park.
Come in here, act like you got some sense now,
park, bro.
Pat
McClung, you're fired,
bro. That video by itself is going to tear the Lakers organization apart. I
ain't gonna lie. I don't even think they can hire Mark just off the strength of that, because I don't think Mark Jackson thought he would even be in a position to coach this nigga. And now he like that. I know I'm gonna have to explain this shit because it's gonna come up.
Mark Jackson, the
first blowout.
That's funny.
I can see the announcers now. The first blowout. Oh man, Mark Jackson and these Lakers are really blowing it out the park. Really knocking it out the park. I can see
you got. They talk about David Fisdale, possibly being a candidate. Then Phil Handy. I don't know if a lot of people know about him. Personal trainer for the Lakers. Kobe. Been with the Lakers organization for quite some time. Phil Handy, Mark Jackson, Snyder for the Utah Jazz. It seems
I like that. Oh yeah, Nick Nurse.
Nick Nurse.
Raptors. I like Nick Nurse. I like Snyder for the Jazz. A lot of free flowing motion offense with set systems. Good luck getting LeBron James to buy into that, but trust
his players.
I like it.
He trusts his players.
I want Pat Riley.
Good luck having LeBron buy
if Nick Nurse put you on that court, you're gonna play. You can get some bucket. You're gonna get something. Right? You put you out there for a reason.
LeBron James said the system. I'm taking the ball up court and we running pick and roll with AD. Guess what we doing? Guess what's gonna happen?
Exactly. He's that passive though. That's the beauty about Nick Nurse. Like,
nah, Nick Nurse ain't that I ain't gonna lie, bro. He gonna speak it fine now. I just don't know if it'll be.
He's smart enough to be like, okay, I need you to do your thing.
I won a championship without you. I know what I'm doing.
Ooh.
I think they're smart enough to not go against the grain. I think if Nick Nurse actually does go, I think
like you won that with Kawhi though.
That'll be his favorite coach. I think.
I think AD done.
being a guy.
Traded.
I think he still got some in him.
I don't give a damn no more, bro, because he talking about some.
I wish you could see my face
I'm
right
healthy. I'm a motherfucker, but like I just gotta stay healty, man.
How does
I
your
don't
face
know,
look
like-
right there, Sedacious?
now. No, I can't explain it. I wish you could see it.
But they was like, I can't explain it.
This nigga,
I can't
He's so-
explain it.
He's so amazing.
Oh man, but man. That's been a great episode, beautiful people. Man, stay in tune. Y'all stay on so we can talk about it afterwards, man. I really want us to try to do something live with our viewers for the playoffs and stuff like that. But beautiful people, this is the Respect the Game podcast. We will be back to you next week with a great episode. As always, we do not take y'all beautiful people for listening. And we will see you next week.